This is a re-edited version with human voiceover. Check pinned comment to see what parts are new. The events in this episode are still from chapter 2, even though the next chapter is named Kiss. There are 2 kisses the title could be referring to, but we know which one it is, let's be real. This particular quiz doesn't exist, but there are many like it.
No matter what I do, it's bad, it's hurting, and I don't feel like I'm my own person.
There's a theory going around that one of the reasons Nick cried because of this result is that it's inconclusive. Being 62% homosexual is not a definitive answer to am I gay, and he's very confused by what this means. Of course, it's also just a big shock to suddenly see himself in this way when he never thought about it before.
I just feel like some other version of me.
Poor Nick can't talk to anyone about this.
How's it?
It's fine. Normal.
Pleased for you, mate.
Harry Green is a rich boy little shit played by Cormac Hyde-corrin, who was the youngest of the cast. He's very fixated on Nick and his business because he wishes he was as likable and effortlessly popular as Nick is.
I find it very interesting too because Harry is a bully. He's not a nice character at all. Yeah. The show has a lot of kind of wholesome characters, a lot of kind people, you know what I mean? And then we see Harry and it's like the complete opposite or everything. Yeah. Was it difficult to kind of play this character where there was a lot of kind of there weren't many like antagonists or bad guys in the show, Cormac?
Yeah. I say it's definitely needed though, like that internal conflict on and external to the characters. But yeah, it was hard. Of course, it was hard putting myself in his shoes. But you know, obviously, you have to separate it a lot. But I was in year 11 at school, and you know, you meet people like that day in, day out. So it's definitely like the casting was very good. Like caught me while still in year 11, while still you know, knowing these sort of people. I tried to just play it as close as I could, really.
So, what's up?
It's to talk about a party, man.
Party?
My 16th birthday party. St. George's Hotel this Saturday. You're gonna be there.
I swear everyone I've seen react to this show misses that Harry outright says the party is going to be at a hotel here. Then everyone is shocked at the location, asking, whose house is this?
You better bring some cool people with you as well.
You gonna invite me?
Only if you're cool enough, apparently.
Do you not think I'm cool, Nick Nelson?
So Imogen spends a lot of time, she hangs out with Nick, Ben, Harry, and their friend group outside the Trueham School gate. How do you imagine their friendship began, especially like I want to say hers with Nick, Ben, and Harry, because those are also the characters that we focus on in the show?
Yeah. So obviously they go to separate schools, but having spoken to people that have gone to separate schools, there's a lot of like integration and stuff. So I sort of imagined in like year 7, the first year, there was some sort of like school mixer kind of thing. They met there, and then the next day, Imogen saw them at school benches where most of my like scenes were actually outside the school on the benches, and sort of like took her little like girlfriends and like we're going to talk to the boys because she's one of those girls where she at the moment she feels like being friends with guys is cooler than being friends with girls. So I feel like that would be her motivation. She'd think it'd be really cool, so she'd go up and talk to boys. And then she just sort of go every morning. She's persistent. We can tell she's in it. She's got some like confidence in her. So yeah, she definitely do that. That's how it began.
Fine. I guess I can invite you, Imogen.
Yeah, definitely. I just like crying.
Yeah, what?
Nothing.
Cy Verma is another one of the 3 nice rugby lads that are more friendly towards Charlie. He's portrayed on the show by Ashwin Vishwanath. In the books, the rugby lads realise fairly early on that Nick has a crush on Charlie.
He has 2 proper fit girls trying to get with him, and he's not even bothered.
Christian McBride is the 3rd rugby lad from the group that gets redeemed in Volume 3. He's portrayed on the show by Evan Ovnell. Let's hope we get to see more of the trio's storyline in Season 2. Throughout the show you can see these 3 get more and more uncomfortable with Harry's bullshit in the background.
Do you want to go to Harry's party? With me?
That is definitely not how you ask your broskies to hang out. Just saying. This print was designed by set decorator Maxwell Fine. You can buy it at maxwellfinestudio.co.uk. Quote from Tudum article, The Hidden Messages in Heartstopper Bedrooms by Lydia Wang. All of these sweet little things that Elle had collected and curated were up on the wall behind her. And then we were like, oh, should we get a trans flag print? And I don't think you can even see it in the final shot, but Yasmin loved it. She was like, oh, that's a great idea, says executive producer Patrick Walters. And it's like as an actor she felt totally at home in that space. I love that she has a drawing of Tao on her wall.
This is my first casual look. A nice jumper, some really cool baggy jeans, and then some brand new white Air Force. Isaac! Sorry, I'm just making a vlog. Guys, that's an absolutely lovely shelf. A shelfie.
Isaac is reading Quantum Mechanics, The Theoretical Minimum by George Hrabowski and Leonard Susskind. This is some very advanced reading. The book is even a follow-up to another book that is recommended reading before getting into this one. Isaac seems to be interested in sci-fi and time travel, so this book might help him understand the science behind time travel better. Either way, it's very impressive that he is reading this as a 15-year-old.
Pick up at 10, okay?
Charlie's dad, Julio Spring, is played by Joseph Balderrama on the show. Julio is from Spain and likes books. He seems like a really great dad from what we see in season 1, so I'm interested to see how Charlie's family dynamic develops in the following seasons. Charlie's family is not very open to talking about emotional things in the comic. They are also more on the strict side when it comes to things like curfews, as we see in this scene, and also other rules we might see enforced later on as the show progresses. It seems like Charlie gets on a little better with his dad than his mom in both versions of Heartstopper though. It's very obvious this was filmed in the daytime with a blue filter over it.
Harry's 16th birthday party. What do you remember from filming at that set or any of the scenes that you were in?
That was a good one, yeah. That was a good day. It was good fun with the party. I remember we had to like do dancing and stuff. So yeah, it was a bit weird, but fun. Also another sunny day, so that was good vibes on set that day. Bit sweaty, I can't lie, in the dancing hall, but we got through it. And yeah, I think you can see I bust out a little robot in one of the scenes. That was a good one, but yeah, great fun to film that one.
But the lighting was also really, really good in those scenes. I'm sure that's something that you recognized.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was brilliant. I remember I saw it, Netflix posted it on Instagram or something. They're like blue and pinks quite a lot. They had lighting. I thought that was really cool. That's again like the small decisions you can take. And I don't know, this could just be theory. They might not mean it, but like sort of bisexual lighting. I think that's what they called it on the Netflix Instagram page. But I quite like that with the Nick in the scenes, all stuff like that. Yeah, just sort of more film theory there for you. But yeah, I like that side of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mum, she's here to see me.
Oh, but I miss her so much.
I have often seen it pointed out how validating Tao's mum doting on Elle must be for a young trans girl. Yan loves her and, as we see later, treats her like she would any girl visiting her son. Yan was not a character in the comics, so we don't really know her apart from her 2 scenes in the show, but she seems absolutely lovely and warm.
I swear to God, she loves you more than me. What about Arrival?
Oh.
Just us then?
Just us?
No, because I'm convinced Isaac did this on purpose, and it's a screenshot of Isaac saying, "Sorry, gang, I'm super sick and I can't make it tonight. Enjoy your evening." Yeah, that's Isaac's kind of Karen from Mean Girls. I'm sick moment.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Boo, you whore.
Which was so, yeah, when I saw that in the show, I was like, this is perfect. And I think it comes back to Isaac knowing what's going to happen before everyone else knows what's going to happen. So I think he's sort of giving Tao and Elle a little nudge, setting it up for them. Yeah.
I'm being serious. I've never ever seen anyone. I literally dragged my mum to play Mario Kart.
Is Nick wanting to play Mario Kart against his mum just so he can win once or what?
Tara Jones is here.
So what?
So this is your big second chance, mate. Let's make it happen.
Harry's often teasing Nick about girls, pushing him towards Imogen and Tara. Why is he so persistent?
Harry really wants to be associated with Nick, because Nick is the rugby kid, of course. He's one of the coolest kids in school, and Harry has it in his own mind. He's one of the coolest kids in school as well. And he's one of the popular kids, but he's not really liked very much, to be honest, in the school. But yeah, he really needs to have that connection with Nick to stay popular. But yeah, I think pushing him towards girls and stuff, I don't think he has much idea about I don't think he really has any idea, to be honest. He's not very he's not a very clever person, but with Nick and Charlie, so he's just trying to look out for his mate, to be honest, trying to get him to get with another popular girl as well. That's just, I feel like that's again very Alice is perfect with it. They're very British school, UK secondary school talk, and that's how it sort of surrounds in those kind of groups. Sort of obsessed with that kind of thing. And Harry, the showman, he always wants to get into a bit of that drama, a bit of that action. He always wants to place himself in there when he's not really should be there, to be honest.
All right, ladies. Hey Tara, I've got someone who wants to see you. You remember Nick Nelson, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Charlie's changing.
So I think from my experiences of being in school, I think the biggest thing that Tao faces is probably a change. There's a lot of changes happening in his life and in school. And I think school is a time where all of us change a lot, and it's a big change of a group of people over quite a short, intense period of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of growing.
A lot of growing, and I think that's where I relate to Tao in that sense of that fear, or that fear of change in life and change in friendship and dynamic, and the way friendships change and develop over those years.
All of this could have been avoided if I just...
What?
Told everyone I was a lesbian.
Oh, you actually are?
That's my girlfriend over there. We've mostly been keeping it quiet.
So why are you telling me?
I wanted to talk about one of my favorite relationships in the show, which was actually that of Tara and Nick. What is it about Nick that allows Tara to be authentic and honest about her sexual identity and vice versa?
Do you know what? I think because they've been friends for so long, because Tara and Nick went to primary school together, I think that because Kit's portrayal of Nick Nelson was so kind and open and warm, I feel like why wouldn't Tara trust and confide in him? I think, and she's so intuitive and she can pick up on other people's like what they're going through without needing many words or much speech, because I say Tara's very observant and she picks up on energies. I feel like she sort of has an inkling that Nick's on the same discovery path as she, like I feel like she knows that there's something going on between Nick and Charlie, and she's like, okay, or maybe I'm going to tell you what I'm going through, and then we'll see if that helps. I think it's very much mutual respect and love and like care for each other that they have.
In the comic, Tara is already out at this point and says Harry must be one of the only people who doesn't know already. She also immediately asks Nick about Charlie and whether or not they're just friends or is there something else there. In the show, Tara seems to clock that something is going on there, but this change gives Nick more time and space to figure his own stuff out without much influence from other people.
Do you know Charlie Spring?
Yeah, I know of Charlie Spring. Are you friends?
Yeah, we sit next to each other in form.
She sees how it is.
One of those? Yes, please. Gotta go.
Nick does this when he's feeling awkward.
I'm just gonna go find Charlie.
What, that nerdy little year 10? Why do you even hang out with him?
He's my friend.
But why? Do you feel sorry for him because he's gay?
Yeah, they really wanted me to play it like high energy, very high energy. They sort of helped me with that and how like I played it as a showman. You know what I mean? Like just trying to entertain the whole time. And he would literally take digs at anyone for anything. Like he just sniffs out difference and he like goes for it. And he'll just for any like uniqueness of someone, he'll just dig it out and make fun of you for it, I guess.
Wait. Do you think he has a crush on you? Wait. Do you think he has a crush on you?
That's homophobic, Harry. And I really don't like you. Happy birthday.
Thanks to the show being more family friendly than the comics, we had to miss out on Nick fully giving Harry the lowdown. We also don't have Darcy there to be impressed by this. This is definitely one of the parts fans of the comics are most disappointed about, but it can't be helped. The main thing is that the show needed to be accessible for people of all ages.
You made some friends?
Yeah, you jealous?
No, I'm happy for you.
And also definitely a bit jealous.
So I think I'm going to be okay there. At Higgs. That's a good change, right?
Yeah, it's a good change.
So your character, Tao, has such a strong emotional bond with Elle, played by the magnificent Yasmin Finney. What was it like working together, and how did you create that very special bond that we see on screen?
I think I love Yaz. Yaz is she's wonderful. I could go on about her all day. I think we spent a lot of time just chatting and getting to know each other, and I think that played a part about the chemistry we see on screen. We just kind of hung out on the weekends during set as well, on set, and we just had a lot of fun. And I think that kind of led into like Tao and Elle and how much kind of the ease at which we kind of worked together, and they saw that in the audition. We did our final audition together, and that's when they were like, wow, they worked together. There's like a chemistry read. So yeah, I guess that's how it kind of led into Tao and Elle. Yeah, their wonderful relationship.
Sorry.
Hey, you're wearing a coat. It's not even cold. Look, I'm sorry about what happened, okay? Have you finished talking about it?
Leave me alone.
Oh, come on.
Do not touch me!
Another strategic language cleanup there.
Can we promise that, like, no matter what happens, we'll always prioritise our friendship?
Promise.
And this promise will be the main reason Elle wants to keep her developing feelings for Tao to herself later on.
Come dance with me!
I can't dance.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Sorry, I have to go.
I didn't even know how to say this, but I think she'd probably like had a bit to drink, you know, she had some sort of, something had been let go a little bit. On TikTok, there was the white girl dance trend. Did you see it on TikTok? This was like a year ago, which is basically everyone taking the piss of white girls dancing. And that was my sort of like research for that moment. I would go through all the TikToks.
Scrolling through TikToks looking for dance move inspiration.
I was like, okay, of course. Okay, right. And I was like, I wanted to sort of like give a nod to that, I thought. But yeah, she's definitely again, like, she's shooting her shot in that moment. I think she's giddy on various circumstances in the party life, and
let's pretend it's sugar, but it could be spike punch or something.
She's giddy on the music and the dancing, and so I think she's thought, why not shoot my shot a bit. And I think at that stage she definitely felt that she had a chance.
I really like you, Nick. You don't have to reply right now, I just wanted you to know.
Okay, I'm gonna go find my friend.
Because that went so well. Maybe she needs a Tao in her life. Tara and Darcy's outfits change into sparkly, bedazzled versions for the kiss scene. Here you can see their clothes are sparkly first and then not sparkly again in the next shot.
The most fun scene to film was the party. Everyone was dancing. I mean, I guess people were getting a bit tired, especially because there's no music most of the time when you're filming, so it's just a room of people sort of dancing with no beat. But it was a really nice day, and that was Ria's birthday as well. And Ria was really happy. And I got to be not quite in a scene with Cormac. That's the closest I got to being on a scene with Cormac, and one of the only days I was on set with Cormac. He at the party, there was like a separate party scene to the one me and Karina were in, but we were all there that day.
You can see you and Karina give each other like a nod before the kiss. And was that something with the intimacy with David as well, that you just wanted to ensure you had consent at that given moment?
No, that was actually like a choreographed part of it. It was supposed to be sort of Tara's in public, like she's gonna kiss her. Tara kisses Darcy, right? It's her decision. It's her being like, you know what? Screw this all. I'm gonna show everyone, and it's Tara's kiss basically. And Darcy would always kiss Tara. Darcy loves to kiss Tara, but it's sort of to do with the fact that Tara's like, no, I'm ready for this. I want the world to see, and that's what that nod is about. It's really, really sweet. Eros was that was Eros and Alice's like direction was, you know, Tara's completely certain. Darcy's like, oh, this is fantastic. But yeah.
Do you have a favorite song of the current soundtrack of season 1?
Clear as blue. Always clear as blue. It came on when I was in a club and I started crying in the club because I was like, I mean,
this is my song.
I was like, Philip, that's my best friend. I was like, Philip, it's clear as blue. I've never danced harder, by the way, to that song to any song in a club. Definitely clear as blue.
when Tara and Darcy kiss in the party, we really in the graphic novel, it's a very powerful panel.
He's actually having a pretty significant false memory here, because this moment never happens in the graphic novel. Nick goes straight from telling Harry off to finding Charlie again in the comic.
But we knew that in live action that we could really blow the audience away and make them feel that this is a moment of such celebration of these two girls so completely in love, feeling confident to be able to kiss at a party, not caring what anybody else thinks. And we wanted the light in the room to echo what was going on in their hearts in that moment. And that transition, the light goes from, the light changes on the moment of the kiss from party light into this rainbow kaleidoscope that Deanna created. And it was a very, imagine a very hefty electrician on the other end of the switch, like flicking it at the moment where these two girls kiss, and then all the audience have got their hands in the air and they're all cheering. And it was such a brilliant. It was very, very emotional actually being there. I was in tears. But the other thing that you did for that, which was really clever, Deanna, was that you had you put a projector light or a sort of laserish type thing. It was rotating, yeah, and so you had a sense of the rainbow, the Pride rainbow behind them. But then that married with our animation, which had always been storyboarded, as the rainbow light pulses out of them.
There was a lot of searching for that because we had the idea of having lasers before, because I kind of took my inspiration from the art installations and galleries where they often have this like a tunnel with the smoke, and then you can see silhouettes surrounded by the circle. So I just kept trying to find how to make it, and then we did the laser, but the laser was too dangerous and too complicated to do. So then we kept searching within setups of that rotating light behind them, and we just kept searching different setups, spent the whole day pre-lighting and kind of like looking for solutions. And I think in combination of that and the curtain lights and the animation and everything, it just really worked. And also we did this like quite elaborate like pushing on the dolly on that moment, I remember, and slow motion and everything. But then I remember we just like took it apart and decided to try one take handheld, because it just felt more realistic, not realistic, but just something more alive, and I also like I did so much handheld before in the show throughout it, and kind of like we kind of replaced a lot of elaborative shots with this handheld because it felt right for this. So it was one of those as well that we just felt on the day that we might kind of try to change what we planned, and it worked that way better.
You see how good it looks on screen. It felt like that as well. Like we had all the music and like the lights, and it honestly, like it was one of my favourite filming days, to be fair. It was really hot, but it was really good. Yeah, we had David as well, who was the intimacy coordinator. And obviously this was like their Heartstopper moment kiss. So like we did our like walkthroughs and we spoke about the essence of it. And I just feel like us coming from like the same page on that and like understanding the moment just helped it like come through so well. Like it was great. It was one of my favourite days.
I had such this picture in my head when I first read the script, and Alice does these little drawings of the Heartstopper moments in the script. And there was a little rainbow coming out from this section, and it was so cute. And I was like, I know what this is going to look like, and it looked just like I pictured it. And I love working with Karina. She's got this mad, incredible energy that just made this scene feel really easy and really good to film because I've got Karina.
The scene in the party that song I loved so much when we were filming, and I remember thinking, I just hope it stays with the cut because I love it. It's just so like sync so well, and everybody got inspired with it. I think for the movement and everything and the lighting. So it was really lucky that it stayed.
Yeah, because with parties and dance sequences, very often you'll shoot it, people shoot it with one track, and then in the edit switch out for another one. But we'd planned very carefully exactly what tracks we wanted, exactly where the musical breaks happened, so that they were timed perfectly, so that the music broke at the moment that the girls kissed, and it helped everybody in the room and their hands in the air. Yeah. That was part of planning the music drop at that point,
and to get it to drop at the right moment. So the sound team were like, what, because it's really important there's a moment in the song where it drops. And that's when you have to play it at the right time. And they were like, what? And so there was a lot of like the normal chaos of set and then getting the music all right. But we really wanted the music to be playing out. And it created this sort of moment where Eros, our director, and me were just standing there like tears in our eyes, because it was literally as moving as it is to watch it back now. It was just an extraordinary moment where it all just came together in the look and the feel and the performances.
Quote from attitude.co.uk article, Heartstopper, how the show's creators created such a magical and prideful playlist by Gary Grimes interviewing producer Patrick Walters. We had wanted a different song that we couldn't get the rights to, Immaterial by Sophie, Patrick Walters reveals. Alice and I felt very strongly that if we could have a trans artist playing as this lesbian kiss is happening and this bi-curious character is looking on, that it would kind of add to the rainbow spirit of that moment. However, as the legendary trans producer and artist's tragic death occurred not long before the show's music was being selected, it simply wasn't meant to be. There was no way that they were going to give the rights away, not because of the show, but just because it was too soon. We were kind of sad about that, Walters admits. We then had to move on and go, what song can bring that joy and sense of abandon? We still didn't know what the song was going to be for that moment until a week before. Whilst we were shooting the bowling alley scenes, I ran up to the show's director, Euros Lynn, with my phone playing Clearest Blue. He was just about to call the action on the take, and he was like, I love this. In the Churches song, we all felt that sense of euphoria and sparkle, but there's also a sense of longing and a tentative mood to that song. No other song that we could find had that. Patrick Walters' quote from article, yes, the bisexual lighting in Heartstopper was very intentional on Turum. I remember telling Diana Olifirova, our amazing cinematographer, if you can just bathe Nick in the colors of the bisexual flag as much as possible, that would be really appreciated. And by gosh, she really rose to that challenge. Those colors are everywhere. The following are direct quotes from animator Anna Perinato's Instagram about the animation process. This scene in episode 3 is one of my favorite moments. The animation is very subtle here, but animating those rainbow backgrounds was very fun. Rainbows everywhere, please.
Favorite all-time scene to be a part of. It's the party scene. That was such a fun day. It was really hot, really hot. I was sweating, but it was such a fun day because all the magic that you see on the screen, it literally felt like that whilst we were filming. Bearing in mind, we can see like people queuing, the like confetti and the lights, but it still felt like magical. That was so fun, such a fun day.
Was the same song that made the final cut playing in the background, or was there no music, or was it a different song?
We had the same song on repeat every take. So by the time the end of the day came, we were all like, oh my gosh, this song, I can't, it's ingrained in me. Yeah, I remember because we'll film it from both sides. So we'll be dancing while all the cameras are on Kit. And I remember like catching Kit's eye as he was like staring at Tara and Darcy dancing. And oh, the look, it just melted my heart. I was like, this is going to be so good. Bearing in mind, we all hadn't seen it yet. So it's like I was just imagining what it was going to look like. And to be fair, it came out better because Deanna, the DOP, is incredible. And we've got an incredible team, Eros. And yeah, everyone's worked so hard on it. So it's so good to like see it on the screen.
There's a moment in the show where you see Tara and Darcy at the party, they kiss in front of everyone. There's a shot of me sort of seeing that, and the whole idea is that it's Nick's sort of first time seeing queer people being happy in front of other people. And for me, honestly, when I saw that in real life, it was just one of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen, because the lights, and it was like the crowd sort of parted. And it was just, it was honestly like, it's so cinematic in the show, but it was almost more cinematic in real life. It was such a spectacle. And I think that's a perfect example of, seeing just the beauty and pride of queerness. And I think that's, I think that's enough to give, anyone confidence to be themselves. I think it's wonderful.
So I just ran into Ben. Ben? Yeah. I mean, I dealt with it. I pushed him into a wall and told him to go away.
I'm so proud.
Shut up.
You want to race?
Oh, you want to race me?
No.
Oh, you want to race?
That comes kind of out of nowhere in the show. In the comic, Charlie suggested the race to break the tension because Nick realized he was still holding Charlie's hand.
I'm dying. It's because you're old.
From Alice Oseman's Instagram, our director Euros made Kit and Joe run up and down the stairs and into the scene so they were realistically out of breath from the running.
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that this room would be upstairs, especially since there are those stairs down from the entrance, but it's absolutely spot on from the comic down to the floral arrangements and everything.
Because it's meant to be evening, night, well, evening, right? But we had to shoot during the day, and it was just like, you know, how do you make the sun not to come in? But also the whole beauty of this location is that it has these beautiful windows, and I was like, how do I make that look interesting and kind of keep them, not just shut everything so you don't see, you know? So it was kind of interesting challenge. It was a big one for me to overcome, and I chose the darkest gels I could find to put on the windows. So when even when the sun goes full in the space, it still looks quite dark. So we had the darkest red and the darkest blue that we combined in the end. And they were not from the palette, but, you know, merged together with the sunlight, they became kind of like a nice pinky hazy thing that was just nice on the background. And for that, we arranged all the other colors around it.
How did Harry hire this entire place?
Oh, he's like extremely rich.
He should have gone on my super sweet 16.
So he could cry when his parents got him the wrong colour Lamborghini.
Exactly.
Happy birthday.
No! What the hell? I don't want my car now! The whole party's off. Listen, you ruined my life! I hate you! We're leaving! The party's off!
This is a pretty dated reference. My Super Sweet 16 was on MTV in the early 2000s when Alice and I were kids, so I don't know if teens today would be as familiar with the show. Wikipedia does claim it only ended in 2017, so maybe.
Whoa. So, was Harry being serious? Do you like Tara?
What? No. No, definitely not.
In the comic, Nick has a longer explanation here about how he doesn't like Tara anymore, and this was still included in the original script. It makes sense that it was cut here because we didn't need to hear that they kissed when they were 13 story for a third time.
Are they not a girl?
Nick and Charlie's first kiss won TV Moment of the Year in Edinburgh TV Awards 2022.
Would you go out with someone who wasn't a girl?
I don't know. Maybe.
The shoes they are wearing are pretty iconic in that they were featured on the back of volume 1 of the graphic novels, and they took a teaser picture of Kit and Joe's feet in the same shoes in the same position before the cast was officially announced.
Would you kiss someone who wasn't a girl?
I don't know.
In the script, the animation is described as much more dramatic, resembling the comic panel where the flowers behind Nick grow. I can see why that did not work, and we have this more understated floating flower animation instead.
Would you kiss me?
I love how this exchange highlights that Nick is very unsure about having feelings for guys in general, but he's certain he likes Charlie. He doesn't know if he'd go out with or kiss just someone who isn't a girl, but he's sure he wants to kiss Charlie.
There were so many scenes that I was excited about seeing. I think one of my favourite scene in the comic is the first kiss scene. I just love how I wrote that and how we adapted it in the show. It's almost exactly the same, like right down to the expressions and gestures. It's so similar. And the performances are amazing. Yeah, I was so excited about seeing that come to life, and they just absolutely nailed it. It's perfect.
There'll be certain things that I wasn't really aware of in shooting, but you know, a lot of the reactions to, for example, one of the most iconic moments in the comics and in the show itself is Nick and Charlie's first kiss. I found that a lot of, you know, people who I knew who were reacting to that were almost shocked that right before they sort of leaned in, like right before they, you know, their lips touched, someone didn't burst in the door and stop them. Because that's, I think, become quite a common trope, especially in queer media, that they kind of, you know, that two men aren't even allowed to kiss, especially not the first time they try to. It does also embrace the fact that it's two teenagers in love, and you know, they are figuring everything out, and it's very beautiful in that way. I think that it just kind of lets the way things naturally want to happen, which I think is lovely.
You're telling me at the end of the day, Kit Connor, again spelt wrong, that's tough, goes home knowing he has had his lips locked with Joe Locke and he can sleep. There's something strange about kissing with like probably 20 people watching you.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit, you know,
it's clinical almost.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, but you know.
Yeah. It's all choreographed.
I slept pretty well, I think. This was also April 22nd, so day of release, so they were straight on it.
It's so good. I mean, was that an awkward scene to film? Because
I think kissing scenes are always like have a level of awkwardness, but I think because of our relationship, it made it a lot easier.
We filmed that scene quite late into the shoot, so we'd like spent every day with each other for 2 months already, so we were quite close already. And the set was such an amazing, warm environment that I think it was like as little awkward as it could be.
Yes. Yeah. Not like loads of blokes on cameras.
Yeah, I mean, there is always, there's always something a little strange about sort of whispering sweet nothings into each other's ears while there's like loads of people watching. It's a little bit strange.
Me and my coffee, I would arrive and have a coffee straight away because I wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did mean there were a couple kissing scenes where I was punished deeply by the.
This makes me sound like a really bad person.
No. But
I had had chewing gum.
Yeah, there was one point where you were caught off guard and you were like, okay, we need to rehearse this kissing scene.
And I just had a coffee in my hand.
Yeah, exactly. And
I apologise.
That was difficult for me.
It's keeping you awake.
And I thought maybe I should next time maybe I should get like an egg sandwich or something like that and have it right before.
Wait, you didn't do that?
Payback.
Is it weird watching yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah, especially like I was watching like the kissing scenes. My mum sat here and Kit sat here, so it's just a really strange experience. Just like a huge cinema screen.
No, because it is. I don't like watching myself like, at all. So the fact that I was able to sit through like Heartstopper twice, I was able to sit through the whole thing twice, is testament to like how much I like it.
They showed the first kiss scene at the Children's and Family Emmys when Heartstopper won the Emmy for Outstanding Teen Series. I'd say them choosing to show this specific scene of boys kissing at the first Children's Emmy ceremony was a pretty significant moment when it comes to LGBT media being normalized for family audiences.
You okay?
Nick, you up here? I just want to talk with me.
Some people expressed disbelief that Harry would randomly find Nick here, but I think he asked around, and lots of people saw Nick and Charlie running upstairs, so he's looking around over there. They were attracting attention while running, so I don't think it's unreasonable that people would have just told Harry where they saw them go. Nick kind of says something before leaving in the comic, but still. Of course, a lot of drama could have been avoided if Nick just said, "Hold on, let me get rid of Harry, be right back." But the lad was going through it.
It's all just banter, isn't it? I mean, the lads can see it's banter. You can see it's banter. Come on, man, it was all just banter. You know it was banter. It's all just banter, mate. Is that the one? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
it's the lads can see it's
The
banter.
lads can see banter.
Okay, so
Yeah.
why do you think it's become so popular? Can you pinpoint the reason?
I think that is perfect year 11 UK boy talk, to be honest. That is literally, you'll get that every single day in school, to be honest. Like, you'll hear that being said. It's just so, I feel like it's very British, that line, but yeah, I feel like that's why it's got quite popular, I guess.
There's no need to start anything, just because you're in a bad mood at my birthday.
Yeah. Guess I was just in a mood.
If Harry didn't catch Nick in such a vulnerable moment, he might have been able to stick to his resolve to distance himself from Harry and the lads, but he took a step back here because of his fragile mental state.
Just gonna go find the loo.
Is this what you would call toilet humour?
Hey, you okay?
It's interesting how different Charlie's dynamic with his dad is when comparing the show to the graphic novel. In the comic, Charlie lies to his dad that he just didn't have anyone to hang out with, whereas in the show, Charlie is more open with his dad that he's hurt, even though he obviously doesn't tell him why. It'll be interesting to see how Charlie's dad being a more comforting presence in his life affects future family conflicts in later seasons. We see Nick try to write a couple of texts to Charlie in the comic, but he doesn't end up sending them.
Would you kiss me?
Charlie, can you get the door, please? Go get the postman.
Fine day, Sunday. In my opinion, best day of the week. Why is that, Dudley?
Because there's no post on Sundays.
Right you are, Harry.
It was very cold. It was very
I don't know
cold.
why I thought, oh, it'll just be warm water.
But I had some basically like a sort of scuba suit underneath.
When he was
Felt
walking
great.
around, he sounded like a
Sort of like a
squeaky
rubber man,
rubber,
essentially. Yeah.
It's like the most iconic scene, and so we had to get it perfect.
Yeah.
There was someone who was across the road and saw filming it and worked out what show it was and what scene we were filming by just the fact that Kit was running out in the rain.
Yeah.
Which I think that itself is like how iconic it is.
Yeah.
And that's the end of episode 3. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Also, I forgot to put this picture in episode 2 and it annoys me, so here you go.